Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, and we have a pretty damn good week on our hands. Before we get into the video, leave a like if you enjoy or if you learn something, just like if you don't, of course, and consider subscribing if you guys are new or you find these style of videos useful. Anyways, starting off with the vehicle sitting here behind me, we have the Annis 300R, which is discounted this week. It is one of a few discounted vehicles. It's pretty good. It's Amani Tech capable. It is a sports class vehicle with some nice customization. It's a pretty fun car to drive. Overall, I do think that I recommend it. For 30% off, it's really not too bad. Now, before we get into anything else, we're going to talk about how to make some money this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, and that is where some of the best things going on this week are going to take place. We have a bonus $100,000 for the weekly challenge to complete the Data Leaks finale. So that's pretty good. We also have triple money and triple RP on select community series jobs as well. So this is going to be a pretty good way to level up, get a little bit of money if you are a lower level player. We also have the adversary mode double down added back into the game this week, and it's on double money and double RP. So check this out if you're interested. But the two best money bonuses of the week are both found within the agency, and one of them is on the contract heist, otherwise known as the Data Leaks. I don't know why they refer to it as two different things, but I've typically heard it referred to as the contract. Some people refer to it as the Data Leaks. Anyway, it's on double money. It usually pays $1 million, but this week it's paying $2 million, and it takes roughly an hour and a half to complete it for the average player. Some players will complete it sooner than others, but the cutscenes are really long, so that is where a good chunk of the time kind of comes from. But still, $2 million for an hour and a half of work is not too bad. And we also have double money and double RP on security contracts. Now, the amount of security contracts that you've completed directly correlates with how much money you're going to get deposited into your agency safe every single day passively. So if you complete 201 security contracts, you'll get $20,000 every single 48 minutes that you're in GTA Online deposited into your agency safe. If you have 101 contracts completed, you'll get $10,000 deposited into your safe every 48 minutes of real time that you're in game. So this is a really good way to earn a lot of money, because security contracts will pay between $70,000 to $140,000 this week, depending on which one you do, and none of them should take you any more than 5 minutes. So they're going to be a really good way to make money, and for doing them, you also get a permanent reward of money in your agency safe. So I'd heavily encourage you to do that this week. Now, I'm sure some of you may have suspected that this is going to tie into the property discount, and in fact it does. Agencies and their upgrades are 30% off this week. Now, if you're going to go for an agency location, personally, I think that the Little Seoul agency is pretty damn good. The one that I have, the Vespucci Canals location, is also decent. The Rockford Hills location is also cool, and the Hawick location is also great. It all depends on which contracts you're doing. I personally like Little Seoul because it's in between what I do most predominantly as far as the security contract goes, which is recover valuables. Now, that mission will either take you to the corner right here on the map, or it will take you to the Vanilla Unicorn right here. And as you can see, this one is closest to both of those locations, so I kind of like it the best for that reason. However, if you want to do other security contracts, Hawick might be a little bit better. Basically, they're all the same. It doesn't really matter. Hawick is just a lot more expensive. Little Seoul is the cheapest, so that's the one I would advise you to go with. Now, as far as upgrades within your agency go, art does not matter, wallpaper does not matter, highlight does not matter. However, the armory does. Now, the weapon armory will give you a permanent discount. It will also give you access to a Mark II weapon workshop. Not that you need one, because there's a free one at the Freak Shop that you can just go to anytime. But you can also purchase the stun gun and other weapons from here, get all your ammo discounted, and things like that. So the armory within the agency is kind of more worth owning than it is in some of the other buildings and properties that you can have in GTA Online. So I would say to get the armory, but it's not the #1 priority of the agency. I would definitely make sure to get the accommodation, and I would also make sure to get the vehicle workshop, because this is the only place in GTA Online that you can upgrade the Amani Tech on vehicles. So that means the missile lock-on jammer, the armor plating, the oil slick proximity mines, and all that good stuff. It's only going to be available here through the vehicle workshop. So of anything, the vehicle workshop is your #1 priority to get alongside your agency itself, and then accommodation for sure, and then the armory as the third priority. Highlight, wallpaper, and art, choose what you want, but I would definitely advise you to make sure you spend money on the important things like the armory, accommodation, and vehicle workshop. Don't waste it on highlight, wallpaper, and art, especially if you don't have a ton of money. So take that information into consideration. Now, also discounted this week are Imani Tech upgrades. Imani Tech upgrades are 30% off. So on top of getting the vehicle workshop within the agency, you're also going to get those Imani Tech upgrades on certain vehicles for cheaper. 30% off, definitely not bad. I would heavily advise you to, consider purchasing some of the cars that are discounted this week and then also putting the Imani Tech on them at the same time, because you're kind of getting like a double savings sort of thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the vehicles that are available this week. All right, so starting us off on Legendary Motorsport, under the two-door section, we have the Enos Paragon S discounted this week. This is a pretty damn good Imani Tech vehicle. For $1,407,000, it is not bad whatsoever. This thing can get the armor plating on the side of it, which is a huge bonus for it, as well as the missile lock-on jammer, the oil slick proximity mines. So that is very good. It's all-wheel drive. It has a pretty good performance. It's within the top 15 fastest sports cars in Grand Theft Auto Online for racing as well. So it's going to have good performance in free mode and on the track. So for $1,407,000 plus 30% off the Imani Tech upgrades as well, this is actually a pretty good deal. I would advise you to buy the Paragon S. However, it's not necessarily the car that I would advise you to purchase the most this week. We have another few to talk about, so don't do anything just yet, but this is definitely a good one to pick up. So if you pick it up, don't be mad at yourself. It's a great car. Now we have a couple more discounts a little bit further down on Legendary here. As you can see, we have the Grotti Italy GTO Stinger TT for $1,666,000. This thing has an HSW upgrade as well as Imani Tech upgrades, including the armor plating, the missile lock-on jammer, and that oil slick proximity mine dropper. And with HSW, this is the second highest top speed vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. This is a pretty good one to buy as well, and it's only a couple $100,000 more than the Paragon S. Now, something that has to be said about the GTO Stinger TT, it has some of the worst and most abysmal handling of all time in GTA Online. It is terrible for how much it costs. However, if you are a fairly good driver in GTA, and you can drive rear-wheel drive cars that have a lot of power, this thing is, in my opinion, more worth purchasing than the Paragon S, simply because of the fact that it has a top speed of like 170 miles per hour, which is crazy. You're going to be able to complete HSW time trials with this thing and be really, really well protected because of the Imani Tech missile lock-on jammer and the armor on this thing if you drive it in free mode. So for those reasons, I recommend it. Now, I do not recommend it if you like cars that have good handling or if you're not a very good driver, because this thing definitely needs a bit of a driver mod. Customization on this car also completely sucks, in my opinion at least, and I also think this car is really ugly. But I do think that it is probably the best purchase and the best bang for your buck this week as far as a discounted vehicle goes. However, like I said, I'm not advising everyone to get this. If you're a newer player, if you are a lower skilled driver, the Paragon S is going to be a much better car for you, and I would advise you to just get that. However, the top speed is going to be a lot slower than this thing, but again, this thing can't turn. So keep that in mind before you make your decisions, but this is a car that I think is pretty good value this week, at least in my opinion. All right, so we got a couple more discounted vehicles here. We got the Tundra Panther, the Classique Broadway, and the Annis 300R. I'm going to start off with the Panther. Super overpriced for what it is. It is a cool car. It's based off the Alpine A110 reboot that they did a few years back. I think it's a cool car. It's got some nice customization. However, for the price, it is pretty abysmal performance-wise, and it's not really a car that's like good for racing or anything like that. It would be a car to take out in free mode and drive around. But even then, there's so many better cars in the game for $1.5 million that I just simply cannot really recommend this thing. It feels exactly like a Pfister Growler, which is not saying much good about it. It kind of looks like the Pfister Growler as well, and it's more expensive, with basically the same performance, if not worse performance. So I would advise against getting the Panther this week unless you're balling out of control or you really, really like this car and you've been waiting for it to go on sale for a long time. So maybe one of you out of the 60,000 that might watch this. Yeah, your car's discounted this week, buddy. You might want to buy it. Everybody else, though, I would avoid it. The Classique Broadway, I would almost consider recommending for one simple reason, and that's that you can use it in taxi work once you unlock the livery for it, and it's faster than the regular taxi cab. However, the Willard Eudora is still better as a cab, so I would advise you to get that instead of this, but with the discount applied to it, it's like kind of almost tempting, and you can get the missile lock-on jammer for it this week as well. So do with that information what you will. If you're a taxi aficionado and you really just need a vehicle better than the regular stock taxi cab, this thing will be slightly better, but I still don't think it really justifies this thing. For $647,000, it's still kind of a lot of money. You'd have to do a lot of taxi fares to get your money back off of this. But it is a slightly faster taxi, so if you're into taxi work, you may want to consider buying it. Other than that though, I would absolutely avoid the Classique Broadway. It is just simply not really a good car. Again, unless you really like it and you really want to get it. If that's the case, buy it. And of course, we got the $300. Like I mentioned, it's a pretty good vehicle. It does have Imani Tech upgrades, including the armor plating on the side, the proximity mines, and of course the missile lock-on jammer. For $1,452,500, it's not a bad car, that's for sure. I would still definitely buy the Paragon S before I would buy the $300, and I would buy the Stinger TT as well before I'd buy the $300 this week. I just think those two vehicles have a lot more utility than the $300. But if you're a big $300 fan and you really like the new Nissan Zs, then you might want to consider purchasing this thing. And it's still not a bad vehicle. This is probably the third best vehicle that's discounted this week. Actually, I take that back. This is fourth for sure. We got one more to talk about on Legendary here. The third best vehicle of the week is the Enos Jubilee, and maybe even the second best vehicle of the week in some cases. $866,000. Now this is if you have the trade price. If you don't, it's going to be around 1.2 million. Either of those prices are fairly decent for what you're getting, because this is a first gen Imani Tech vehicle. And if you don't know what that means, basically this is like when Imani Tech first came out and they gave some really crazy stuff to all the first gen cars. This thing has bullet resistant windows, which can take 15 shots from an assault rifle. It also has the armor plating that can be equipped on the side of it, the oil slick proximity mine dropper, the missile lock-on jammer, but it also has front mounted machine guns that are available for it too, and they output a decent amount of damage. So this thing has a lot of capability. Plus it's all-wheel drive, it's got a bit of ground clearance, so it's decent off-road, and it has some nice customization. Overall, I would say for cheaper than the Paragon S and the $300, this might even be the second best, or maybe even the best discounted vehicle of the week. So if you don't have a Jubilee, I would highly recommend it. It is an awesome vehicle. It's fairly fast. It's within the top 5 in the SUV category as well, as far as performance goes. So it's a really, really good car. I would recommend it. That's all I got to say about it. Moving over to Southern, we have the Volcar Warner HKR. This thing is a horrendous piece of shit, but if you like it, I guess maybe buy it. It's got a lot of customization. However, once you're done customizing it and you actually have to drive it, you won't want to be alive anymore. So I would avoid it personally, but if you want to be disappointed, go ahead and buy it. We also have the BF Club available this week. This thing is actually the best compact car in the entire game. I think actually it might be second best now, but for $896,000, if you want to like win compact class races for some reason, it's a good car. It's got some nice customization. It's fairly fun to drive for a front wheel drive car. It's actually faster than most of the muscle car category around a circuit. That's a fun fact about it. I don't really recommend it unless you really want to do compact class racing, or you really, really like whatever Volkswagen model this is. I guess it would be a Golf, or would it be a Rabbit? I don't know. It's one or the other, but yeah, if you're a aficionado of that sort of thing, then yeah, you might want to buy it. But for most people, I'd say no. Don't buy it. We also have the Dinka Segoy discounted this week for $642,600 for the trade price and $856 if you have the non-trade price. It's front wheel drive. It does have some nice customization options though. I can't recommend it because it's front wheel drive. Like it will just drive like shit and understeer super hard and torque steer and like all of that sort of stuff. So for those reasons, I don't really recommend it. But if you really like the newish gen Honda Civic, you might want to purchase it. That's kind of all I have to say about it. It's a good car to customize and kind of look at, but once you actually have to drive it, you'll kind of regret it. It's kind of like the Warner HKR in a way, except it's front wheel drive instead of rear wheel drive and slow as hell. So yeah, it's fairly cool. If you're into Honda Civics, like I said, buy it, but if not, I would absolutely avoid it. We got 2 more discounts on the luxury tab on Southern San Andreas Super Autos, which God knows why Karen Everon is a luxury vehicle. But anyway, got the Declasse Granger 3600 LX. This thing will be about 1.5 mil if you don't have the trade price for it. $1,050,000 puts us in kind of a unique position as one of the cheapest Amani Tech capable vehicles in the game. It also has a decent amount of customization. It's all-wheel drive. However, it is slower or very much on par to the Granger 3500, which has been in the game since release and is available off the street. So performance-wise, not that awesome. However, it is a first-gen Amani Tech vehicle like the Jubilee. It's just a lot slower, but that does mean you can get the front-mounted machine guns for it, oil slick proximity mine dropper, and the bullet-resistant windows do come with it, and you can put the armor plating and the missile lock-on jammer on it as well. So if that interests you, if getting into a really cheap Amani Tech vehicle interests you, this one may be for you. I think it's a good-looking vehicle. Performance-wise, it's really trash. I would spend the extra little bit of money, or honestly even less, if you have the trade price for the Jubilee, and get the Jubilee over the 3600. It's actually, what the fuck? The Jubilee is literally cheaper than this thing. That's insane, and it's better in every single way. So honestly, I would buy a Jubilee. I think if you buy this over a Jubilee, you're kind of nuts, but that might just be me. Next up, we got the Carry Everon. This thing is a fantastic off-roader and rock crawler and everything like that. So if you like free mode off-roading and stuff like that, this is definitely a good vehicle to buy. It's got a lot of customization as well. Fairly decent performance. It is kind of expensive though, over $1 million without the trade price, and just under $775,000 if you do have the trade price. I mean, I own a Karen Everon. It's kind of hard for me to justify this for you guys because I don't really think you're getting the value back for this. So I would say if you do want a Karen Everon, just make sure you have some of the Amani Tech vehicles that are discounted this week, because that's going to be a much better purchase in the long run for you. But if you do like off-roading and things like that, the Karen Everon is a pretty good vehicle. So for that reason, I can't tell you not to buy it. But yeah, just make sure if you know, a free mode player or anything like that, or you need armored vehicles or things for missions, buy all that stuff first and then buy the Karen Everon. But it is really good for off-road. So there you have it. Within the casino, we got the Vapid Ratel available this week. It's a fairly fun off-road vehicle. I definitely wouldn't buy it. So if you can win it for free, that's a pretty big dub, I would say. Alright guys, and the prize ride this week is the Invitero Coquette D10, and in order to win this, you're going to have to place top 5 for 4 days in a row. I'd say it's pretty worth. This car goes for $1,510,000, and it's honestly a pretty fun car, and it's got some really nice customization, so I would definitely recommend trying to win this thing. If you can, you might as well. And within the car meet, these are the vehicles that are available this week. We have the Warrener on the left, we have the Dundry Landstalker XL in the middle, and the Coil Brawler on the right. This thing is 120 grand. I'd say for that price, you really can't go wrong, so I'd buy it. We have the Landstalker XL. It goes for $1,220,000, which is kind of a lot of money. I like this thing a lot. I'm definitely a big fan of it. It is removed from the game, but I can't really justify it, honestly. I think it is a little bit too expensive for what you're getting in return. And the Coil Brawler has the worst brakes in all of GTA Online. And for $715,000, I think that's unacceptable. So I would not really recommend buying this thing. It also looks like a super hardcore off-roader. It's rear-wheel drive, so good luck actually getting up anything in this game. Within Simeon's this week, these are the vehicles that are available. We have the Dubachi 770 available this week. This thing goes for $695,000. It's removed. I'd say for that price, it's not a terrible vehicle. If you got the money, you might as well buy one. I think it is a pretty cool car. Not a lot in the way of customization, but yeah, I'd still say it's fairly worth it. We also have the Pegassi Vaca, which is another removed vehicle. $259,000 as seen right here. It's got the carbonic shadows on it. Oh, hell no. But still, removed vehicle. I think it's pretty cool. Definitely one of the worst supercars in the entire game as far as performance goes, but I still think it's an awesome car, and I would definitely buy one this week. We also have the Vapid Click, formerly one of the fastest muscle cars in the game, $933,000. I said formerly, so performance-wise, not really that worth it. It is a fun car to drive though. Customization-wise, not a whole lot you can do. I don't think it's worth the $933,000 anymore, at least. We have the Dubachi Rapid GT Classic here as well. This thing is $910,000. It is one of the faster sports classic category vehicles in the game. However, now that HSW is at the Turismo Classic with HSW is going to destroy it. And same with the Sterling GT. So for performance wise, I don't really think it's worth it anymore. If you like the car though, $910,000 seems like a little bit for me. Seems like a little bit much, but I don't know. If you're really into it, maybe. Also have the Dink Adjuster for $240,000. This is a no-brainer. I would absolutely pick this thing up. It's a performance bargain, and it's also highly customizable as well. So, pretty cool car. Luxury autos is boring. Both of these cars are on the websites. We've already been over them. The Stinger TT on the left and the Granger 3600 on the right. I just gotta say though, horrific looking Stinger TT. That is like disturbing, actually. That is filthy. Yeah. Within the salvage yard this week, these are the vehicles that are available. The Caracara 4x4 is available by completing the Gangbanger robbery. The VSTR is available by completing the Duggan robbery, and the Vicernia is available by completing the Podium robbery. But none of them are claimable. 2 months, Rockstar. 2 months of no claimable vehicles in here. Kind of starting to seem a little scammy, but I guess maybe we'll see next week. And on the Garment Factory website, the priority file this week is the Project Breakaway, so it's paying double, so consider doing that if you're interested. Alright guys, in the gun van location for today, if you're watching this the day it comes out, is in the Boneyard here. Just north of the prison and the quarry and everything like that. And within the gun van this week, we have a discount on the stun gun. The stun gun is 30% off this week, and the compact grenade launcher, and so is the RPG. And the rest of these guns, we got the service carbine, tactical SMG, which you should definitely buy, and the L Strickler. L Strickler, you don't need to buy it. TAC SMG, definitely. Stun gun is pretty cool. Service carbine, cool. Compact grenade launcher, definitely. RPG, definitely. As far as throwables go, we got grenades, tiers, and Molotovs, so definitely buy those if you're interested. And for your time trials, your RC Bandito today is Construction 1, your Junk Energy is Sewer System, your regular time trial is End-to-End, and your HSW time trial is Terminal. So definitely make sure to do those this week. Anyway guys, there you have it. That has been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, consider subscribing if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.